251, taxi to holding point.
Senaste dygnet har varit normal karaktär, normal intensitet och inga kränkningar av vårt luftrum. Morgon.
It's a cold, windy morning. The sun has just risen over Malmen Air Base outside of Linköping, Sweden. In front of you is the ASC-890, the Swedish Air Force's perhaps least known aircraft. The missions and tasks of this aircraft are normally classified, but today you are invited to join us. I am Kalle, the first officer on board, and you can see me standing there, second from the right. We are soon ready for takeoff, but our working day started a long time ago.
Uppdraget idag är sensorspaning i luft- och sjömål från Finska viken till Kaliningrad. Fast fokus ligger just runt Finska viken och Kaliningrad där.
That is Thomas speaking, or Kupa, which is what we usually call him. We are currently at a mission briefing, the last meeting before today's sortie. Normally, this is a restricted area, and all cell phones must be left outside the door. The meetings and conversations taking place in this room are strictly confidential. The windows on your left have a special coating, making sure that no one can see in from the outside. Together with our intelligence officers, we in the crew are preparing the last details of today's mission. Kupa is plotting the route of the aircraft on the map, a route that will take us out over the Baltic Sea. And here we are, 20,000 feet above the island Gotland. On the left is my colleague Rauken, the aircraft commander. On the right are 4 Gripen fighter jets flying information.
Ryanair 832 Golf, Roger, descend flight level 270.
Up here is where our aircraft makes a difference. The radar on board has a much longer range than both the radar stations on the ground and that in the fighters. In the cockpit, this aircraft looks pretty much like many other. But what makes it special is in the cabin behind us. You are now standing in the heart of the operation. Back here in the aircraft are 3 consoles where our operators carry out radar surveillance and control. Kupa and Henrik, closest, work as fighter controllers and are constantly working to translate and compile what the radar sees. The contents of their screen are classified and are therefore not shown. However, the radar on board is so powerful that very small targets are identified, even at long range. Let me explain how it works. On their screens, the operators can now see far beyond the shores of the Baltic Sea. At this altitude, we are able to identify and track more than 1,500 radar echoes, more than 450 kilometers away. But the aircraft can also share all this information. The radar picture is transmitted directly via data link to the ground control intercept and also to the Gripen fighters and to Navy ships. This means adding range and giving better precision to the armed forces' recognized air picture. It works sort of like an airborne Wi-Fi, where those with access can connect and get a united picture of what's going on, both in the air and at sea. The fighter controllers on board can also control, manage and lead fighter jet missions all by themselves. Today's mission is to help the Gripen fighters to locate foreign military ships on their way from Russia, heading south through the Baltic Sea. The Gripen pilots fly low towards the ships, using the linked radar picture from our aircraft. By doing this, they can approach the ships in order to take photos without having to use their own radar. At the same time, we can keep a watching eye on air operations taking place above them. You are now sitting in the back seat of a Gripen fighter. Behind you, you can see the pilot, and on the left is the ASC-890. Have a look around. After they have completed their mission, the fighters are now returning to their base, and we have joined up. Normally, we don't fly this close to each other. Instead, we usually see each other as small symbols on our screens and as familiar voices on the command and control radio frequencies. but we rely heavily on each other. For the fighter pilot, the ASC-890 is a key component to mission success, as their extra set of eyes and ears in the air. At the same time, the fighters must protect the unarmed radar aircraft. Now, when the Gripen pilot has changed echelon, you can clearly see the big antenna on the roof of the ASC-890. That's the actual radar. It's no wonder that we've been given the call sign ski box. At this point, the radar has been turned off. The radiation would otherwise be hazardous to everyone around us. Our mission is done for today, and after 4 hours in the air, we are now on our way back to Malmen Air Base again. It's a pretty windy day, and I have to wrestle with controls a bit. The aircraft warns us that we are approaching the ground below us, and starts to count down the number of feet left to the concrete.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
You can now see Leif folding out the ladder. As a flight engineer on board, he's not only responsible for keeping the aircraft going, but also supplies food and beverages. Sorties can be long and may take place both night and day. In that way, our aircraft is both our office and our living room. The sun is setting, the aircraft is refueled and made ready for the next mission. As a part of the Air Force's quick reaction alert, we are always ready to scramble. 24/7, year round.